The first fruit of this creature. Okay?
First fruit.
Okay?
Because as
These were the first believe in Yeshua.
okay, first.
That was the first fruit.
Because you know, Ephraim is called also the firstborn.
Firstborn, not first fruit.
Yeah.
Okay? So, okay? For if the first fruit be kadosh, the lump is also kadosh.
First believers, is that?
If the root be kadosh, so are the branches. You see?
Yeah.
And if some of the branches were broken off, and you being a wild olive tree, were grafted in among them, and with them partake of the roots and fatness of the olive tree. Why he speak about wild olive tree? Because the house of Israel has been got a get of divorce. In the moment when the house of Israel get a bill of divorce, then it become a wild olive tree. Mm-hmm. But it's still an olive tree. It's still an olive tree. You cannot cut an olive tree and make it an apple tree. Okay?
They are cut off, they become wild.
Wild.
Yeah.
Wild. This means they have no master anymore.
Because before what we think was cut, it was...
The olive tree were planted, they have an owner. The owner of the tree, okay, is there to prune, to look water and so on, that the tree prosper. In the moment where they're cut off, he throw them among the nation, they are wild. No more. No more the master. The master is Jehovah. Okay? So, boast not again the branches, but if you boast, you bear not the root, but the root thee. You will say then, the branch were broken off, that I might be grafted in. He's speaking to the Goyim now. The Goyim. Or the house of Ephraim. Okay? Well, because of unbelief, they were broken off, you see. Because of unbelief. He cannot speak to the pagans.
No, not the pagan.
What is belief to a pagan? I believe Buddha, I believe Allah, I believe that. No, it's not what he say here. He say you, because of unbelief. Unbelief is the word of unbelief, according to Paul, not according to me. If you go in other chapter 14 and in 1 Corinthians, you will see the unbelief is a lack of faith in Elohim. That is unbelief.
The unbelief, okay, the lack of faith to believe.
Okay? We can look at this another
lack of faith.
No, you see?
Yeah, you speak about that. I don't remember if in Corinthians or...
Okay,
Corinthians was speaking about the house of Israel in the wilderness. This is speaking that because of unbelief, they were not able to enter the promised land.
He said that Abraham,
Yes.
if the word unbelief is really those who lack of faith in Elohim, okay? For if Elohim spare not the natural branches, lest he also spare not you. Behold, therefore, the goodness and severity of Elohim on them which fell, severity. But toward you, goodness, if you continue in his goodness, otherwise you shall also be cut off. And they also, if they abide not still in unbelief, shall be grafted in, for Elohim is able to graft them in again. Here he's speaking of Judah, who was lack of faith. And I will show you why. I will show you. For if you were cut out of the olive tree, which is wild by nature, and were grafted contrary to the nature into a good olive tree, how much more shall these, which be the natural, be grafted into their own olive tree?
To see? It's tricky because, you know, it's wild. And here, how much more the natural branches is to be grafted again?
He's speaking here to the room, to the assembly in Rome.
Yeah.
Okay? The assembly in Rome was a mixed assembly with Jew, Orthodox who do not believe Yeshua, with Jew who believe Mashiach, and with all those from Ephraim who come back to the faith. 3 groups. So he speaks to all of them. If you don't know the context, you can make up story.
This is why.
You understand?
We have to know the history also.
Yeah?
History.
But he knows exactly what he's speaking.
Yeah.
He knows exactly what he's speaking. For I will not, brethren, what? Which brethren? All, that you should be ignorant of this mystery, call that a mystery, lest you shall be wise in your own conceit, that blindness is In part it's happening to whom? To Judah? To Israel.
To Israel. The blindness is
Until the fullness of the Goyim has come in. Here, the Melo HaGoyim has come in. You know the Goyim? They are here. The fullness, exactly the same. Until the fullness of the Goyim. Bereshit 48:19. Exactly the same term. He used the same term. So he cannot speak here from the Goyim pagans. No. He doesn't speak. He speaks from the Goyim here from Ephraim.
Yeah.
That's his make it clear. Until the fullness of the Goyim. And so all Israel shall be saved.
Oh, the
You
old
see?
house. The house
That
of
is-
the Elohim is Israel.
He doesn't say the house of Israel. It's all Israel. Yehuda, Benjamin,
But
and
this
the 10
is,
tribes.
as Shaul said, is the remnant who come back.
Yeah, Mr. We. This is another story.
The old,
And so all
the
Israel
remnant.
shall be saved, as it's written, there shall come out of Zion the deliverer, and shall turn away ungodliness from Jacob.
Yaakov.
Jacob, that is the descendant, the children of Jacob,
In the
which
natural.
include the 12 tribes and Manasseh and Ephraim who have been adapted. Okay? Okay? That's very interesting. Now I want to show you the faith, which is the unbelief. You see? Okay. Chapter 14.
Romans, ayat
Yeah.
Romans 14. Okay.
You see, in chapter 1 and verse 1, he said, him that is weak in the faith, receive you, but not to doubtful and disputation. Although weak in the faith. For one believe that he may eat all things, another who is weak eateth herb. Let not him that eateth despise him that eateth not, and let not him which eateth not judge him that eateth. For Elohim has received him. Okay, for who are you to judge another man's servant? To his own master is 10 or fails. Now, okay, so it goes on and explain here. Here, chapter 15. We then are strong. You see, we're speaking for the weak. How to bear the infirmity of the weak and not to please ourselves. Okay. Now I will go to 1 Corinthians. That is 1 Corinthians 8. And look. And he said here, 8. He said, as concerning therefore the eating of all the things that are offered in sacrifice unto idols, we know that an idol is nothing in the world, and that there is none other Elohim but one. For though there be that are called Elohim, whether in heaven or in earth, many, and master many, but to us there is only one Elohim, the Father of whom are all things, and we in him and one, Master Yeshua Messiah, by whom all things, and by whom, howbeit there is not every man that knowledge of the idol, and you see, unto this hour eat at the things offered unto him an idol, and the conscience being weak is defiled. Okay, weak is man, is a lack of faith. Okay, and what does he say in the book of Hebrew? Just wait. I think it's 9. Just wait.
Go to me, no?
Chapter 3.
Hebrew chapter 3.
Okay. Verse 14 and following. Okay. Listen carefully. We speak of unbelief. For we are made partaker of Mashiach, if we hold the beginning of our confidence steadfast unto the end. What did he say? Today, if you will hear his voice, harden not your hearts as in the provocation. For some, when they had heard, did provoke. Howbeit not all that came out from Egypt by Moshe, but with whom was he grieved 40 years? It not with them that had sinned, whose carcass fell on the wilderness, and to whom sway that they should not enter into his rest, but to them that believed not. So we see that they could not enter in because of unbelief. You see? So unbelief is directly connected to believe Elohim.
To believe in
Okay, you have it here. Okay.
the lack of
So for me, here Romans chapter 11 speak. These goyim are the Ephraimites who are scattered at this time in all the Mediterranean
goyim.
region.
But if you see in Romans 10:12, they say, for there is no difference between the Jew and the Greek,
Yeah. Okay. Then you go to the text. It doesn't say Greek.
What is that?
Helen. Yeah, because Greece do not exist as it is today.
Helen, okay.
Helen. So the people were there. Helen represent the philosophy of the Greek people. Okay? So don't forget that the house of Israel was scattered in the Mediterranean region at this time. And he go to speak them. We see that. Where does he establish the assembly? Where does he establish it? In Sardis? In Sardis? Huh?
What? Let's say.
In Sardis, all what is from Rome to what is today Turkey, in the Mediterranean Rome. Yeah, Philadelphia, all this.
Oh yes.
That's what the Hellen world at this time. Okay.
Okay.
So the Hellen, since Jewish culture has received a shock when the Greek came before the Romans. The Romans have not imparted the Jewish culture like did the Greek, because the Greek knew that there was a tactic from Alexander the Great to he said that by force you cannot convert the people, so you have to invite them to accept you and to accept your philosophy of life. This is what he did when he built the. You know that some remove their circumcision to be compared to the Greek. You understand? So he was very smart. And this is why he speak to the Hellen. At this time, Greece do not exist anymore. It's Rome who is the master of the region. You
so
see?
it is not the Gentiles, the Greek.
No.
D'accord. So this is why you have to relate also the story, because
yeah, it's